thank you, and everyone here in Gothenburg, and especially Carla and Lena, thank you guys so much for having me back. I would say, for those of you that don't know me, I'll share a bit of my story, but I just want you guys to know, like, the feeling for me right now with New Skin, and that I've been involved for 7 years, it's never, ever been better for me, right? Yeah, it's amazing, right? It's like, wow, I look out this window. For those of you who don't know, my girlfriend Tanya and her daughter are at Chrissy's house right now, and so this time I didn't come alone, right? And my dream, when I got started in New Skin, was to be able to have a family and have the lifestyle to do the things that I wanted to do. Right? You guys ever hear that about New Skin? It's about lifestyle, like being able to do the things you want to do with the people that you want to do it with, when you want to do it. Yeah. Right. So my girlfriend's a doctor. I was just telling Carl, she hasn't taken 11 days off in a decade, and she's doing it with us now, right? So this business can be that. It can be what you dreamed of it being right from like the very beginning. That was my dream. I saw somebody that had what I wanted, right? I saw this guy that owned a motorcycle shop, and I thought, wow, if this guy could do this, anybody could do it. So today, I really, my desire as Chrissy, I'm intrinsically driven by helping other people or making other people happy. And I can't make you happy, only you can do that, right? But I can definitely assist you. I believe in really sharing, like, what's possible, right? And as I look out here, I was just looking at that big ship. And you guys remember Christopher Columbus? That's what it just made me think of. And I think about this guy, right? And just immediately, I make a lot of stuff up as I go along, just so you guys know. Right? I was a restaurateur. So my background, and I'm going to come back to Christopher, but the 20 years that I spent in the restaurant business, right? I love people. So for me to be here with you this morning, it's like my dream, right? I didn't love getting up in the morning in the restaurant business, but I love getting up in the morning in New Skin, right? Because there's so much more. There's so much more than you could ever imagine, or at least I could ever imagine. I thought my dream was in the restaurant business, right? And what I knew almost immediately when I finished university, right? So I went to school. For some of you younger people, like I've been chatting with you guys a little bit, your brother. I went to school and I finished. So I was like, I'm not getting a real job, right? And I got a job as a waiter, serving tables, right? And as a ski coach. Now my mom wanted me to be a doctor, right? Can you imagine what my mom was doing? Like, what, a waiter and a ski coach? This is what was happening to my mom as she's looking at me. And I remember my dad, when I got out of the restaurant business in New Skin, he's like, what, network marketing? Honestly, this is what they're saying to me. But I love the restaurant business, and I fell in love with it. But I immediately decided that if I was going to do it, I had to do it at the highest level. So I had somebody tell me, imagine this, because I'm going to talk today about mindset and the decision, right? That's the simplicity of what it's really all about. It's mindset and a decision. So I go to this recruiter, and I actually go to the recruiter, and I say, I want that position. And they say, you can't have it. You have no experience, right? No experience, and your hair is too long. Not an issue. But, and so immediately, that just makes me say, I'm doing this, period. 1 year later, I was running the #1 restaurant in Canada. Right? Can you imagine the mindset that I had? That was it. I was like, really, I can't do it? Perfect. That's all I needed somebody to tell me, right? So I want you to all remember that in New Skin, that when somebody says you can't do it, or network marketing, or what a dumb idea, right? I believe there's some $5 million earners in the room. 10? 5. Soon to be $10 million earners in the room, right? Because I know how fast it can happen. And that it is possible for every single person in here. So when I saw New Skin, I saw the possibility. I was working 80 to 100 hours a week. I knew that after running that restaurant that I could outwork anybody, okay? And I would suggest that every single person in this room could outwork me if you decided to do that. You just have to make a decision. Some people say, well, I don't know if I could do New Skin. I wouldn't be all in. I'm like, are you all in with your kids? It doesn't mean you have to be with them 24/7. You could be all in this business 5 hours a week. You could be all in this business 10 hours a week. That's probably the minimum, honestly, right? You have to be really honest with yourself. Like, am I willing to do 5 to 10 hours a week consistently for a year so that I can become a Ruby? Or maybe I want to speed it up a little bit. How many of you guys think it's possible to get to Ruby in 7 months? Okay. That's the average time in North America for a Ruby right now. Okay? That's the average time. How many of you guys think it's possible to do it in 2 months? Okay, so hopefully by that time we finish today, right, you can go, it's possible to do it in 1 month. I just heard Christy tell me this morning, somebody did it in a month. It doesn't matter how fast you do it, okay? But I will tell you faster is better, for sure. So I get out of the restaurant business, and I literally, I'm in the restaurant business, but I want out of it. And the reason I want out of it is I'm working 80 to 100 hours a week. I have no lifestyle. I own 4 restaurants. I had $4 million invested. $3 million was the bank's money. So can you imagine the pressure? You wake up in the morning, you owe the bank $3 million, right? And they're good for about 29 days. But they don't bother you for 29 days. But on the 30th day, they're like, where's our money? Right? And they want their money. So there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of pressure. I woke up this morning with no stress. No pressure. I was excited to come here this morning to see all of you, right? And it's exciting. I mean, this can be the most exciting business in the world, and I promise you, Carl and Lena would tell you the same thing, right? I don't know. I just go on their Facebook, man. If you're ever not motivated, just go on Carl and Lena's Facebook and watch what they're doing. Just get a live camera into their living room or whatever it is you need to do to motivate yourself, right? Like, I'm not here to motivate anybody, honestly. I hope I inspire you. You got to motivate yourself. You got to wake up in the morning and go, I want to be that Christopher Columbus, right? So Christopher Columbus, the mindset. Everybody thinks the world's flat, right? We know it's not. Now, we didn't know that. So he sets out and he convinces, 20, 30, 40, 100 men, right, to jump on a boat. That was the first mistake. There's no women on the boat. That was the first mistake he made, right? Though probably, I don't know any other mistakes. But, he sets out and he sets sail. He believes everybody else in the world says it's flat. Everybody. And he says, no, it's not. So how many people in this room believe that they can be blue diamonds? Good. I hope everybody raised their hand. And if you didn't, you are now officially in the deal. All right. So today I want to talk about mindset, and I know I've got about an hour of time. What I also want to talk about is simplifying things, okay? Has anyone been in the business longer than a year? Okay, good. Anyone been in the business longer than 3 years? 4 years? 5 years? Okay. So for those of them, do you feel like maybe, does it ever get complicated? Yeah. Sorry, and what's your name again? Sophia. There's Camilla and Sophia. Okay, Sophia. So tell me, tell me a little bit of complication. Tell me, what does complicated look like for you? One day you wake up and your skin's complicated. What does it look like?
When you think too much.
Okay, perfect.
Just do it, yeah.
Oh my gosh, thinking. I forgot to brush my teeth this morning. I told Carl, right? I'm not thinking. It's perfect. So if you see me running around without my phone, I forgot my phone, and I forgot to brush my teeth. I'm not thinking about anything. It's actually a really good thing. That's perfect. Thank you. I want to be able to really kind of paint a picture of being able to shift your mindset, right? And to really, we complicate things. I don't know about Swedes. Canadians do it, right? I think you guys do. I always say Swedes and Canadians are the same, except you guys are way better looking than us. That's it. That's what I honestly believe. I was telling Tanya, my girlfriend, that she's beautiful. I said, man, the Swedes are so amazing, right? She's like, as soon as we got off the airplane, she's like, yeah, man, you were right. They are. Right? I said, oh, I know. The guys and the girls, right? So the mindset is most important in this business. I believe that the 3 things that we'll see people essentially that you maybe have seen something like this before, where there's essentially 3 things. There's the mindset, skill set, the knowledge. No. See, I probably get away with some spelling mistakes, but there's probably some pretty good English people in here too. But the mindset, I believe that this fundamentally is the most important thing. I would say that this business is probably, I would even like to say more, but I'll estimate conservatively, 80% of the business is your mindset, period. When we were going on the roller coasters yesterday, right? So Christy's daughter is 8. Her mindset was, I can't wait to do this. And I look back in this roller coaster, we're upside down, twisting around, and she's, I mean, she's having so much fun. Her mindset was, I mean, there was no fear involved, right? There was no thinking, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't, right? Now, on the other side, there was Danica, who was Tanya's daughter. No way, she's not going on. And there was no convincing her, right? And so the mindset is, and I love watching kids, man. You can learn so much from kids, right? I was watching in the grocery store this little Swedish girl. She was about maybe 6 years old. I didn't even need to know the language. And when she walked away, and I said to her mom, I said, boy, oh boy, you just got sold, right? She had this package of cashews. The mindset of that 6-year-old was, these cashews are mine. They're going in the cart, right? And no is not even an answer. She's like this, the cashews, right? The whole time. And she's talking today up, and she's showing it. I mean, the mindset of the 6-year-old was the cashews are coming home with us, right? They say, he or she who is most certain wins. So the mindset consistently is going to be, I believe, the most important thing. So if I was able to share some stuff around mindset, what would be most important for us to be able to kind of take away? And maybe we can look at some of the challenges. I mean, maybe why don't we start with challenges and then maybe look at like, what do we need to do to flip that? And then what I want to be able to do is move into some things that I think will really set you up. My goal is to have you leave the training this morning. You've invested your time, that I want you to come away with something that would allow you to maybe qualify for the trip at the end of the month. Right? How many people think it's still possible to qualify for the trip at the end of the month? Okay, because there are people in Sweden that will qualify for that trip between now and the end of the month. I believe there are people not even sponsored. There are people that will start tomorrow after the Expand event, that will start today that will be rubies by the end of the month. Do you guys believe that's possible? Yeah. It's going to happen. You just have to decide, is that me? The only thing better than it being me, I always believe, is like, who's the person that I sponsor? I'd rather have them go. Right? The success trips are brilliant. I'm telling you, right? How many have been on a success trip before? Okay, awesome. That's perfect, right? So somebody's going to go on that success trip in the room and come back and go, oh my gosh, he wasn't kidding. I mean, New Skin pays for the whole thing. There's cash on the end of your bed, right beside all the gifts that they give you. I took my mom on the last one, man. I'm officially back in her good books. So what would be important to identify is maybe some of the obstacles. So if I could have some participation, like, what is it that gets in your way? I mean, one of the things, I'm just going to put these down here right away. So we heard thinking, too much thinking. Okay, so what else is it that gets in your mind, in the way of you getting to your goal, or maybe having the things that you want to do in New Skin happen for you? So what are some of the things that maybe in your mindset get in the way? Yeah, me. Okay, and what is it about you? Like, what is it about you? Because that's a great, that's probably the biggest obstacle for all of us. Go look in the mirror, right? For me too, every day. So what is it about you?
Probably is that I'm also thinking too much, and
okay.
Yeah, I don't do what I promise myself to do.
Okay, yeah. So, and how does that feel when you don't do it?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, cool. So, I'm just. Do you mind if I just call that integrity? And it's not even so much not doing what we said we were going to do. It's the after effect of not doing it, right? David.
Yes. I would add one integrity. Because when you meet certain people or other people, you approach them differently. Or say that, for example, to my sister. I was talking to my sister. I don't even mention too much about it because I would just feel bad about it, or she will think something. Or she knows that I'm part of New Skin, but she's against it. So I don't reflect myself, my integrity, be a full New Skin.
So you kind of make up her mind for her. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I want to. That's what I'm trying to now. I'm in the process of myself. Stand up for myself and say that I'm a New Skin.
Yeah.
I'm New Skin.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. I was like, yeah, this New Skin t-shirt, we'll just put that down in the bottom drawer, right? Where nobody's going to see it. I don't want any of my friends to know I'm the New Skin. That's what happened in the beginning. It was like, it was like a second life for me, right?
Yeah.
Over here, I'll be out here in my New Skin. Before I go home, I got to get changed. I cannot wear this thing home. Yeah, no, I was so...
But I'm believing that nowadays. I mean, more that want to have one integrity or one persona. When I'm myself to everyone and stand up for myself, then I can say that they will see in the end that, gosh, he was right.
Cool. Yeah, who am I, right?
Yeah,
who is he? Who's David? Who is this guy? I just told him, I said, man, you should just own the Chilean market. Just own that whole thing. The last thing you want is some Canadian guy running it. I love fear of loss, right? I love to just strike that into people. If you don't do it, I'm going to do it. That's kind of my mindset, right? And I think you should all have that. But we're all together, right? I mean, I'm an abundant thinker. I believe that every single one of us could be team elites. You could build your business in Gothenburg and never ever leave Gothenburg. You could build it here alone. Right? That's amazing, David. Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm thinking about goal setting too. And sticking to your goals and what you are worth when you are putting your goals, setting your goals.
Okay.
So that's also something.
So in this, it's great because I'm going to do a little segment here about 10, 15 minutes on goals. I want to be able to connect it so somebody can take that mindset and actually apply it, right? So that you could actually leave here with a plan and then be able to know exactly what direction we're going in. I always hope that in any given event, right, because leaders are born in events. You're in an event this morning. You're a leader. You got out of bed. Dan McCormick, the master of personal growth, right? Mindset over mattress. Whoa, right? I'm out of it, man. No one had, I was like, man, why did I set my alarm so early this morning? Right? Because I was excited. So the goals, so what is it about your mindset around goals? Like, what's the obstacle? Like, is it like I don't want to set a goal? Or what is it?
No, it's more like, do I need all that money? Do I need this culture? Will it make me a happier person?
Could I say, would that be more about, would it be more about limiting belief, like a limited belief, or would it be more about scarcity? Like, I don't know if I need all that money. Which would it be?
No, not about scarcity.
So more about limited belief?
Money,
Okay. Yeah, so more limited belief?
Yeah, quite good.
Just so I understand, like I want to know.
Yeah, is it, does anyone need to have so much money?
Yeah, okay.
What comes with it?
I think are you guys hearing a bit like what David said, deciding for somebody else? I don't know if they need that much money. Really. I'm so glad nobody decided that for me, right? Somebody had to invite me. Right?
There's a question, am I worth it?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's why he's a $5 million. You think I'm joking? It's true, right? Am I worth it? I love being around team elites, right? So self-worth, right? Oh man, that one kind of hits home for me, right? Has anyone ever failed at anything? And I'm going to come back to you. Has anybody ever failed at anything? Oh my God, I've failed so many times. And it's painful for me, just so you guys know. It's really painful. And sometimes I land in a space of like, oh, is this really worth it? Right? Which is really, am I really worth it? So I love that. Oh, thank you.
I just want to say, like, the scare of success, actually.
Okay.
It's because now when I was in Australia, I just came to realize, like, when I hit my freedom point, I know I will move away from all my friends and will I then be alone, and what's going to happen? I don't know what to do then.
Did you ever go to Global Convention?
Yes.
You have 20,000 friends waiting for
I
you.
know.
I'm sorry, I just had to say that.
I know.
I think the same thing, right?
Yeah, but it came to me after a while, though.
Okay.
But
So if I become successful, what am I going to lose, right? Is that like, what about all these?
yeah, but like the people who haven't hit their freedom yet, like I like them, I want them in my life, but they're not there yet. And like, I still want them.
But
in
she
my
says
life.
fear of success. Does that resonate for anybody? Yeah. It didn't immediately for me when somebody, like right now, my toes are going like this. I'm like, oh yeah, fear of success thing, man. I never understood fear of success. Yeah. Well, it's probably Canadian too then.
I think
Much
in Sweden
the
it's about
same.
fear of being alone and leaving people behind.
Okay.
Like people, in Sweden it's hard for people to accept that you're succeeding.
Yeah.
So sometimes
Okay.
you have to leave those friends behind that aren't ready to see you succeed.
Okay.
And that's
So would it be okay if I kind of maybe sort of,
separation.
yeah. I know Americans don't have that issue, like, not in general, but would it be fair this morning if I was able to kind of like pull it in a little tighter to the Swedish market, because that's where we are, that we have to be leaders, right? And we have to show other people what's possible, right? And that this business is definitely about leadership of self, right? That you've got to be a leader personally, right? Before you can ever lead other people, and then you can lead leaders. So it's leadership of self, leadership of others, and a leader of leaders. Right, so that's where we want to go. Is there anybody that would love to be a leader of self? Like look in the mirror every day and say, I'm killing it. I'm winning. This is amazing, right? Would that be a good feeling?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I want everybody to for sure go home at least at the end of the day and say today, like, man, I'm winning big time today. Because you are by being here. And I mean that in the greatest possible way. The feeling that, like, that overwhelming feeling I had right before I started is possible for every single one of you. I believe in all of you. And the best part is that didn't just happen naturally this morning. Somebody had to believe in me. So would it be that our mindset might even be about belief? Like all of these things are possibly about belief? Thomas?
Yeah, I think it will also be a lot of other things as well, because you have your mindset, but you need to know your why you are doing this, and this will nurse your mindset, and it will also drive your goals. So it's everything is related, and it's a combination to be able to have a long commitment.
Yeah. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I'm not sure if I want to be successful. Yeah, that's great. It's all of these things are connected, right? That's why they're coming up. Two more, Carolyn and then Emily.
It sounds also maybe it's about focus and focusing on changing the focus. So you're focusing on helping others, like Yvonne said. Why do I need the money? Well, you can give the money away.
Okay, what's the opposite of focused? Distracted, unfocused, distracted was actually, yeah. So, distractions. So if someone came to the door right now and said, hey, Scott, I'd be like, I'm busy. And I'm really focused right here. Imagine if you could do that with your new skin business each day right? Even for just 1 hour a day. All you had to do was block it off, just like going to the gym, right? So that's great. And so, like, why am I doing this? I need some clarity, right? If you're not clear, you're unclear. If it is not, and so I want the one thing quickly, just as I'll sort of frame all of this up to be what I want to talk next about, that where Carolyn said focus. Think about what the negative context is: distracted or unfocused. Right? Anytime, if could be the most powerful tool that I give you today. Anytime that if the word in your mind or what it is that you're thinking about is not what you would want, and we all know the answers, right? We know distracted, focused, where do we want to be? We all know. If it's not that one, if it's not focused, right? If it's not driven, if it's not being of service for other people, if it's distracted, tired, if it's any of the things that are negative context for what we know is necessary, just switch it. Right away switch it. You have to be able to do that. And Kari Vossi, Team Elite at Success Summit, and I remember he said, the only difference for me is I recover faster. No matter what happens, his mindset just goes like this right away. And I believed him. And I think the challenge is. So this is probably the biggest thing that's going to be important for all of us. Is the belief, okay? The belief in your mind that you can do this. The belief in your mind, do you guys ever think maybe I can do this, but I'm just not sure if anybody else can? Like I can get there, I'm just not sure anybody else can. I could sponsor 15 people. I'm just not sure anybody else can. Erase that. You have no idea. Whoever sponsored Carl and Lena, I bet you they didn't think, oh, wow, or maybe they did. Maybe they were smart enough to think that way. You want to think about every single person being the next Team Elite because you have no idea. You want to be able to believe in other people, right? Because somebody believes in you, right? That's the most important thing, this belief. So I'm going to come back and just quickly look at... would you mind just hanging these up somewhere? Kind of controlling those? Awesome, thank you.
Are you going to need to wait for it?
I'm not sure if these are erasable, so yeah, no, you can just put them up and I'll just keep using them. So, this is the number one thing in our business, right, that we have to do. Right? How many people think you're building your business right now? No, you're not. You're not. I see how cool you guys are, right? It's all about the mindset. It's a mind trick to get you all to keep raising your hand, You're not building your business right now. This is part of skill set knowledge stuff, but this is not the building your business part. Would you guys agree with me, Carl and Lena? We're not building our business here right now. It's important, right, to be a part of this. This is the 20%. But this action component, right, comes back to the simplicity of our system, which is the inviting, the presenting, and the follow-up. Those are the only three things that will build your business. Anything else you're doing is not building your business. There's some simplicity. So if you want to check in with yourself at the end of the day, that's sometimes harder than checking in with somebody else. I'm going to use some other tools. Accountability is such a great thing. How many people have accountability partners? It's probably his wife is his accountability partner, which is the best one you could ever have, right? But so so maybe some of you may or may not understand the concept accountability, right? So that if you go every day and you write down, I invited 3 people. I presented to 3 people, and I did 3 three-way calls. Okay, I did 3 of each today. That was my goal. Do you guys think it would be easier to check in with yourself on that, like be accountable to yourself, or would it be easier to be accountable to somebody else? Totally. Because the other person doesn't really care. So they're not going to make up any stories for you, right? So I have an accountability partner, 10 minutes every day. How many invites, how many exposures, how many three-ways? Simple. Measurable, specific, right, and timely in a day. That's part of a SMART goal, right? But if you can have an accountability partner, it's really, really, really helpful. Because they don't care. They don't care what you do or don't do. Nick doesn't care if I did or didn't do what I said I was going to do. But it's so good that I've gotten in the habit of reporting to him what my daily action is. The daily actions that are necessary to build the business come down to the revenue producing act. How many people are in this business to make money? This is okay. Put them up again. It's not a trick question. Not a trick question. For sure. And it's not about the money, which I always had a tough time with in the beginning. It's not about the money. What do you mean it's not about the money? It's about what the money can buy you. You guys ever say, man, I would love to buy my girlfriend, my husband, my child that gift, but it may be just a little bit too expensive. Maybe I just don't quite have the money. Or I'd love to do that, but I don't quite have it. I've only got, I know in Sweden you guys get a lot of holidays, but in Canada it's more limited. In the US it's even worse. They get nothing. They get zero. So the inviting, the presenting, it's important. Do you guys know why I'm here today? Follow up, right? You have to follow up with people.
You told us you'd come back.
That was we forgot. She probably did hold me accountable. These are really important. So, okay. So sometimes people say, well, as soon as I have all the skills, right? As soon as I know exactly how to invite. Okay? If you guys ever did, as soon as I know exactly how to do it, I'll do it. I've got to be really good at this because I don't want anybody to think I'm horrible at this. I don't want to see them maybe like, where's put that new skin t-shirt in the bottom drawer, right? Okay, that's dangerous, man. Do not get to be an expert. You don't want to be an expert. Yeah, Carolyn.
Many of the distributors or prospects say that. They'll be like, yeah, that's really exciting, but I've got to know everything. They want to have all their lights green, like Charlie said. And it's difficult. It's a challenge to communicate to them that that's not necessary.
Okay, so my job today is to communicate to you. You guys are here. This is a training workshop, right? And it's not necessarily about training you. It's training you to train other people. You guys are the leaders, right? This today is about what can I do to go help other people. You guys are the leads. You're the developing leaders of leaders. Me too. I'm not a leader of leader. I'm a developing leader of leaders. All about growth. The growth mindset. What can I learn from this? If you wanted to write one thing down, the growth mindset is always, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? Every time something happens, the growth mindset says, what can I learn from this? Sometimes things don't always go super well in my relationship, and I'm like, this sucks. No, switch. Right? Remember I said you need to be able to switch fast? Switch from fixed mindset to the growth mindset to be able to say, what can I learn from this? Well, I'm not going to do that again. That didn't work. What can I learn from this? So, I think, Carolyn, there was something else just before you mentioned about, it'll come back to me. I forgot to brush my teeth this morning too. It's the same thing. But so what I want to be. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So is that you want to be able to. Yeah, I was trying to convert it to Swedish, and it didn't quite happen. But so it's about the inviting, the perfection, right? That you don't want to become an expert, right? How am I going to do this? Once I figure it out, once I get all this, the how, skip it. It's not important. You don't need to know how to do anything, especially in the beginning. If you're training somebody to do this business, right? So your brother is a great example of somebody who said, oh, I know what I'm doing. And he was out inviting, but he wasn't getting the results. I think he had invited about 30 people, okay? And he had maybe 4 or 5 people show up, okay? So we got into consultation, right? He had a goal. This is a guy that said, I'm leaving for South America. I don't know if I could do new skin. I said, that's great, no problem. How can I help you? And I think about a month later, he said, I'm going to get started. He became an executive. He's gone to South America, and it's amazing. Brother and sister here today. But I was able to say, listen, a small tweak. You don't need to know anything. You just need to know how to say, I'm excited, I'm in training, and I need your help. Those three things. I'm excited, I'm in training, and I need your help. When can I get 20 minutes? And we probably talked to 40 or 50 people in 30 days together. And then I know he was also working with his other upline, multiple uplines helping this individual. You don't need to be an expert to be inviting, okay? That's the message I want for you to be able to go out and convey to your new people, right, that you're going to sponsor before the end of the month. You don't need to be an expert. Let's start inviting. Right? Massive action, massive inviting, okay? The reframing of your belief that you need to know. You don't need to know. The knowledge, right? You think you need to be an expert. Okay, so I have a degree in pharmacology. Then you wonder why my mom's like, what, a waiter? That's bad news, man, in this business. You think it's easy to get my girlfriend who's a doctor to start taking our products? You got to be an expert to convince a doctor. You don't want to be an expert. Don't be an expert. What do beginners do a lot? Like, I coach skiing, right? So what do kids do a lot when I take them out on a ski hill for the very first time? They're on the ground most of the time. They're having fun. They're soaking wet. And by the end of the day, guess what they're doing? They're skiing. One day I can take anybody. And even recently, I've never done it before in my life. I've never taught an adult how to ski. I don't do adults. They're no fun to teach. Except in new skin. I love that. But in skiing, I'm taught. The mindset of the adult has to be like the child to succeed fast. I'll repeat that. The mindset of the adult has to be like the child to succeed fast. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I love that. This is so great. I love this stuff because this is what it takes. It takes just a small amount of, a small shift. For Adrian, their brother, it was just a small little tweak. It's the same thing in our mindset, right? So if you went out, and can you imagine that if you made a small tweak in your inviting, you've invited 30 people, maybe somebody on your team, brand new, invited 30 people, and they didn't get any result. Well, you always get a result. Would you guys agree you always get a result? Yeah, it's not always what you want, but it's always a result. So if you invited 30 people and you got 3 people to take a look, there's probably something not quite right. Best thing about Nu Skin, you are not on your own. Right? When I started my restaurants and there was a problem, I'm like, there's only one person to figure that out. That was me. Not in our business. You don't have to do it alone. There is always somebody who wants to help you. Especially when they have a vested interest in your success. You should probably listen to them, right? Charlie, my $1 million earner in the business, right? Makes his first million in his first 3 years. Do you think he probably might have had some good insight for me? For sure he did. Do you think I listened in the beginning? No, I didn't. Man, I was atrocious. I was so bad, man. I was like the worst. I could have been one of the worst distributors ever in the beginning. No, really. I mean it. Not just in North America. Not number 3 out of 5. Number 1 out of the whole world, worst distributor ever in the beginning. That was me for sure. So I had a result. It was not a good one. So, no, it was horrible. I mean, I'm serious. It was horrible. So you get some results, okay? And these are some of the things that if you looked at, the results that come in our business, okay, come from the action we take. I didn't sponsor anybody this month. Perfect. Let's go back and look at how many people did you invite? How many people did you present to with or with your upline or on your own? Either or is good. How many people did you follow up with? Once you do those things, right, it's easy. You go to the workflow. How many people got started on the products or in the business? We only do two things in this business. We recruit and we promote. We recruit new people to join our team, and we promote the products. Look younger, feel younger, live longer, promoting the products. The getting started. I'm not ready. Perfect. What would it take to get you started? What are the obstacles? What on a scale of 1 to 10? More questions. Invite, present, follow up. We just keep going back and forth on the inviting, the presenting, and the following up. So you have a result, okay? So imagine, okay, so I'm in the business. I told you guys I was bad. 14 months to get to executive. Some of you have heard that story, okay? Horrible. Good news is I'm pretty tenacious. I bought 3 business builder packages. Right? My mindset was I'm not quitting. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it my way. Boy, oh boy, I was so good at being bad. Bad. Horrible. 14 months. That is just a rotten way. The only good thing about that is the story that I have, like, just don't do it that way. Can you imagine the difference in my confidence, right, when I made a decision? Okay, so it's about a decision. Anybody could leave this room today, leave the Expand event today with a decision that I'm going on that trip. And I promise you, you can do it. I promise you it's possible. That the confidence, so I set a 90-day goal. Okay, so I set a 90-day goal, and it's important, definitely, that you've got to be able to set some goals. But that 90-day goal, and I went from making $277 per month, 3 figures, to 5 figures in 108 days. So I had a result. Way better. On the 20th of the month, in August, $718, I think, was my check. Add more zeros and commas. That's what I keep saying. More zeros and commas is better, right? More zeros, more commas, paychecks going up. Can you imagine the difference in the level of confidence? That I had? Think after you get a 5-figure check in New Skin that you're like, man, I think I'll go talk to anybody. Right? Would you? I would. So if you have that confidence, right, that this is kind of the direction this is going. I used to think that this was necessary, right? I used to think that all of this, being the most important thing in this business, I believe, is belief. The greater your belief, the greater the action. Would you guys agree? Totally. And I totally agree. However, what if you were able to create a greater belief by taking more action first? And I used to actually really believe, like, the bigger my belief. I had a consultation with my upline, Casey Council, incredible Blue Diamond, and her husband, Rick. And she said, Scott, what if you could and she is a master of transformation. I mean, she's a brilliant, brilliant woman. Thank gosh, right? I didn't get Charlie. I've got Casey. I mean, an incredible team. And I'm saying this because you guys all have the same thing. And even if you didn't have an upline, there's other people that will help you. Every single person in this business has the ability to plug in. You've got to be plugged in. If you're not listening to the calls, personal development, if you don't have a call with your upline at least 3 times a week for 10 minutes, not an hour, right? Remember the revenue producing activity, inviting, presenting, and following up. It's the only thing that creates business. Only thing. I was able to reframe the thoughts around, okay, more action will create more results. True or false? 100% true. Always. More action, more results. Do you guys would you agree that if you do something, you're going to get better? It's sometimes painful. sometimes slower than you wanted, but the more you do it, the better you get. The more you do it, the better you get. Totally, yeah. So the more I do it, the better I get. If you just keep telling yourself, your mindset, it's so critical. The more I do it, the better I get. What if you woke up in the morning every day and you said, the more I do it, the better I'll get? The kinder I am, the kinder I'll be. It worked for me the other day. I told Christy a story. I walked in, I needed to get my pants sewn, my shorts sewn up, and she said, we have to send it out. And I said, that's so okay. I said, I should have been more organized, right? I should have been on top. She said, man, your attitude is so good. I was smiling. And so I went to a different dry cleaner, and she said, I have to send it out. And I said, I have to leave tomorrow for Europe. She said, well, I could hand stitch it. I said, okay. And I went back the next day, and she said, here you go, and she handed it to me. And she said, and this is in a pretty nice area of Toronto. It's actually in the probably one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Toronto. And she says to me, it's a gift from me. It's complimentary. I was like, wow. Really? I said, I can't do that. And I said, wow. Right? So the kinder you are, the kinder you'll get. The more you do it, the better you'll get. Everything in our business, the more you do it, the better you'll get. And this business is actually really just truly about becoming a better person. That's what it's really all about. So if you want to be a better person, you are in the right place at the right time. The more you do it, the better you'll get. So I went to the next place, right? I had to go and pick up glasses for Danica, right? Tanya was busy with her patients. She said, I need to get Danica's glasses. I said, no problem. Being of service is something you have to want in this business. You've got to want to be of service. And sometimes it doesn't always feel good to be of service. But I was a waiter. And I always loved being a waiter. Right? But I go in to see the concierge from the place where I park. Now I have a relationship with these guys. Christy's great. She goes, did you prospect them yet? I love it. Mindset. She's like, it sounds like you have a really great relationship with them. Did you prospect them? Well, my answer is, of course, I'm always prospecting. We do two things in this business. We recruit and we promote. Keep it simple. Recruiting and promoting. What are the two things we do? Perfect. Awesome. I love that. Emily, man, you are sharp. So Emily puts me on the phone with this guy the other day. It's her boss. He owns the business that she works for. And I'm like, I love that, man. She's turning into a recruiter. Going after the big fish. The biggest fish you can get. It's awesome, man. 21? 22 now. See, I think you were 19 when you got started. Oh my gosh, it is amazing to see Emily, man. She's going after the biggest fish in the tank, man. I love it. Mindset, recruiting, and promoting. Who loves Nu Skin products? They're the best products on the planet, man. The best. Who thinks the scanner rocks? I told Tanya, I said, I don't even care. It's my girlfriend. Man, she makes me look like Bambi. I mean, she is tough, man. And she's smart. I said, I'm the brain. I said yesterday, you're the brain behind the operation. She said, I know I am. I was like, what? Who says that? She does. She's awesome, man. And I said, I don't care. You want to talk about posture? I said, I don't care if you take our products. I'm looking her right in the eye. I said, I don't care if you take them. But your scan score at 32,000 is unacceptable. Period. Not acceptable. So, you got to be confident. You got to have posture. You guys ever heard fake it till you make it?
Yeah.
How many people in this room are team leads? We all are. Only two real ones back there today. Okay, here's my question. I actually thought this is the question I thought. Okay, here goes another great exercise. You guys ready to do something that'll switch your mindset?
Yes.
How many, and I want, just close your eyes for 1 second. I'm going to give you a time frame to become a team elite. Imagine this is for you. Okay? How many people's hearts are already racing? Oh my God, what's he going to say? Okay? I want to tell you 100% that it's possible. This isn't magic. It's possible. So I want you to pick a number. It could be years. It could be months. It could be weeks. It could be days. It could be hours. It could be minutes. To go from where you are today to become a team elite. Okay, so your mindset is telling you one thing right now. Okay, so open your eyes. I could probably do it in the next 15 minutes. Okay? Every one of you in this room can do the same thing. You guys believe me? You don't believe me? Okay, that's good. I love that. Right? Because my job is to actually help people change their mindset. If I picked up the phone right now and I called Newskin, right, is it possible to buy enough products to create 4,500 points in volume in a single phone call? Yeah, for sure it is. That I can actually call Newskin and order 4,500 points worth of product. Okay? What if I did that 15 times? Okay? I didn't say you needed any customers. I didn't say you even needed any business. What if I did it with Nourish the Children bags and I decided to make a donation, okay, to Nourish the Children that was 15 times 4,500, whatever the math is, we'll call it about $72,500. What if I decided to make a Nourish the Children donation today for $72,000 on the team elite? And I don't even have to worry about the previous pin titles. If I could go from ground zero to team elite in 15 minutes, okay? How many of you guys thought that was possible? Did anyone say I could do it in 15 minutes in their mind? Probably not. But I've already thought about what's possible. That's what I thought about this morning. Do you see, does everybody believe it's possible to be a team elite in 15 minutes now? Okay. Is it possible to find $72,000 in 15 minutes? Totally it is. Is it possible that one phone call that you could, instead of getting one bag of Vitameal, you could get 100? Rick and Casey had a goal to get to Blue Diamond. I can tell you that one of the ways they got there was that Rick got a $2,500 donation in 3 minutes for Vitameal. Changed my mindset. I was like, oh yeah, stop asking for one bag. Don't ask for one bag. Ask for 10 bags. And I shared that story with a distributor on my team who got to executive this month because he said, oh, well, if Rick could ask for 100 bags, I can ask for 10. Not bad. And he did. He got to executive on Vitameal donations. So if you can get to executive on Vitameal donations, nobody in this room should ever have a distributor that doesn't get to 2,000. And I always say it's about 3,000 because that's where the money is, right? That you just have to get into the mindset of what's possible. Not what's not possible, but what's possible. Everything is possible. My now officially 5-year-old nephew says everything is possible. Where do you think he got it from? Me. That's not true. He got it from my sister, okay? My sister almost died in a car crash. I mean, it was devastating. She was in a coma, right? And this is a happy ending story, by the way. She goes and she listens to every single person that says, well, it's not possible, right? So don't waste your time. Her dream was to be a pilot, okay? Anybody have a dream in this room? If you don't, you better get one. The mindset requires what Thomas said, a reason why you're doing this, and it's got to be so compelling that you will get out of bed when you least feel like getting out of bed to do it. You have to be able to look at, like, what is that dream? I had dinner with Massa, man, a $20 million earner, man. I love this guy. I would do anything to have his lifestyle. And I mean it. I would do anything to have the lifestyle that he has. And my sister said, I want to be a pilot. She's in a coma. She gets out of it. She's fine, mostly. A lot of broken bones. Every bone in her body broken. Okay? Head to toe. Like her nose was even broken. Right? And so she goes to all these doctors. They say, you'll never be a pilot. Nobody will ever hire you because just can't. They're too much of a liability. I mean, everyone, no, you can't do it. No, can I do it? No. So imagine there's somebody like a team elite, this doctor who says, you could do it. I believe in you. And she says, okay. So she goes to flight school in the U.S. She graduates #1 in her class. I don't know if you guys know anything about being a pilot. That's a man's world. I'm not saying it should be. I'm saying it is. 95% plus of pilots are male. Right? And so she graduates #1 in her class. She becomes a flight instructor. She gets a job working for a company called Air Alliance, and she's flying for Air Alliance. She's 38 years old. She wants to get married. She wants to have kids, and she wants to fly for Air Canada. She's 38. Pretty much done. I mean, it's not going to happen, right? She's a woman. She's 38. She's still not with Air Canada. She doesn't have a husband. She's screwed, man. It's never going to happen. Not true. She just sets her mindset, and she says, I'm going to do this. 4 months later, engaged. She's so cool, man. She's like my hero. And 5 months later, married. 1 day later, pregnant. In Italy, comes home. It's November. She set a goal in January. Married, kids, pilot with Air Canada. Never let go of the dream. She gets called to ground school. She's pregnant, and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I can't go to ground school pregnant. It's not possible. Like, they'll never. I'm like, Lisa, you got to go to ground school. Don't tell them you're pregnant. Deal with it. Get through, get the job, and then tell them. So she does. So she goes for her medical. This is 15 years later from when she had her car accident. She goes for medical, and she had also said, if I don't get on with Air Canada by the end of the year, I'm done. I'm retiring from aviation. And she goes for her appointment to get her medical for Air Canada to fly the biggest plane in the fleet. Right? The 777. It's the biggest plane in the fleet of Air Canada. And there she is for her medical 15 years later. Never gave up on her dream. Pregnant. Married. And the guy that she goes in to get her medical from is that one guy that said, you can do it. Ta-da. Never give up on mindset, man. It's such a beautiful story, and there were team elites in her life that believed in her. You've got to have that belief, right? I mean, that can happen for all of you. I'm telling you. Like, I almost started crying this morning because I'm just like, man, it's unbelievable. It's like, this is, it's a dream come true to be here. Right? And you guys can all do that same thing. It doesn't matter. You could be 18, you could be 80. You don't ever give up on your dream. Ever. That belief is so important, but the only way you can get it is to take action, right? How did she get married? She took action, man. I remember seeing her walk into my restaurant. She says, yeah, this is a really important meeting. I'm like, this is not a meeting. But this guy, Jonathan, man, he is a gem. And I made sure they had a really good time. She was taking action, right? Taking action. You have to take action to make this stuff come true. The results that you get will give you the confidence. You have to take action. That's the simplicity of it. And your belief can be greater. So, thank you. You're awesome. I have 11 minutes left, which is perfect to do what I'm about to do. That you guys get that you've got to take action to get the belief that you need. The most important thing you need to do is protect your mindset. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do this or anything else for that matter. Or let them tell you that. So just like I got told, oh, you can't get a job with those guys, and I was running that restaurant, the #1 restaurant. You can do anything you want. I promise you, every single one of you. The mindset has to be protected, okay? It has to be protected. It's like if you're a mother and you have children, what's probably your #1 instinct? Protect your children. Protect your mindset like you would protect your children in this business. And I mean that. Because it can mean so much to so many people. It's not about you. You have to go out and take the action to show other people what's possible. And I say you have to do that. I mean that. I have to do it. I have to take more action. The personal responsibility in our business says that there's only 3 things that you can do to make your business grow. Invite, present, follow up. All the other things happen naturally. You've got to have a goal, and if you don't have a goal, you better get one. You better have a big dream, right? You've got to attach these things. The goals are important. You've got to have them. They've got to be in place, okay? There's only, and I'm going to make this really simple and fast, okay? There's only 2 things that you need to have a goal around. You need to have a goal around your pin title. And if you don't, you want to get one. And every month, a bare minimum, the minimum is it's got to be the next pin title. If you're a diamond, your goal is blue diamond. If you're a lapis, your goal is ruby, minimum. I mean, it could be more. You could be an executive with a goal to get to ruby. And you've got to have a dollar value, the check that you want. Why do you need a check? Because the check translates to the number of executives on your team. Our business is about one thing only, and it's about executive duplication, right? We're recruiting and promoting. Our goal is executive duplication, right? We want to build these distribution channels as big as possible, and it's not about the number of people, but it is certainly about the size of your team. You want your team to continue to grow. Faster is better, and I promise you, your team is a reflection of you. It only takes about 30 days to change that. My team is moving so slow. Really, Scott? What are you doing? That's what Charlie would say. I'm like, yeah, and I'm about to step on the gas. Change your mindset. You need to have a goal, okay? These are the 2 most important things. Inside of that, I would say the next thing, and I always tell people that number 1, we need a goal. Number 2, you've got to have a plan, okay? You've got to have a plan, and the plan has to reflect the goal. You can't say I'm going to be a blue diamond or a team elite tomorrow, but I'm going to take the next 3 days off. That's not going to happen. There has to be an alignment of the alignment of actions with the goal, right? Have you guys heard of 3 threes?
Yeah.
3 new contacts, 3 presentations, 3 3-ways a day, sponsor 3 new people. If you do that every day, you can be a blue diamond in 1 year. You want to be a blue diamond in 2 years? It's 2 a day. Am I fair to say that? Well, 2 a day, and I mean every day, 6 days a week. You take Sunday off. I always said it's the Lord's day and mine. Most importantly, mine. So I was a restaurant guy, man. You never get a day off. It's horrible. You got to have a plan. You got to decide on the number of invites. These things, you just write them down. And this again, remember, you guys are leaders of leaders. This is what you're teaching people on your team as well. You've got to know the number of invites that you're going to do. You've got to know the number of presentations that you're going to do. What's the minimum number of presentations, core, per month? Personal presentations. I'm doing 15 personal presentations. How many people did at least 15 personal presentations in July? Okay, great job. How many people did 30? Okay, how many people did 60? How many people did 120? Okay, so that's where I come off. I didn't do 120. I did more than 60. Is 120 possible? Totally. You better pick somebody in the business who you want to be like. Jeff and Diana Zisselman, man. Jeff Zisselman, the guy's a laser, man. If you haven't seen him, go see him. Find out where he and Diana are. They're an incredible couple, just like Carl and Lena. I mean, great leaders in the market. I mean, you guys have incredible leaders here in Europe. You've got to have the number of invites. He did 127. I was like, oh my God. And the reason he did it, he picked this other guy, Troy Holzer, who's a diamond from Salt Lake City, and Troy had done like 142. I was like, oh my God, what are these guys doing? They're doing exactly what I want to do. Take more action, right? Invitations, presentations, and the follow-ups, okay? What's the best way to follow up? Yes, possibly in person even better, but the best way to follow up with a validation partner. We work in teams. Every time I get on the phone, that you would hear me say, hey, good afternoon, how are you? There's some edification at the front of the call. Usually have the distributor tell their story. And what I immediately say to people, I just say, oh my gosh, Carolyn, it's so nice to meet you. Right? We work in teams. How many people would love to be a part of a team? Every single person I know, nobody wants to work alone. It's boring. Right? That if you just say, like, we work in teams, and I always say, and the best part of my job is I get to meet new people every day. That's my follow-up that I use with distributors when I get on the phone with them, right? The validation. Invitation, presentation, validation. If you're not using 3-ways, oh my gosh, today is a perfect time for you to start. And I would set a goal around the number of 3-ways. I don't know how many I did with your brother, man. A lot, like 40 of them in a month with their brother. 40 3-way calls in 1 month with one guy on my team who I was introduced to, and it was exciting, and it's a lot of fun. There's so much that can happen, the 3-ways, right? So you've got the invites, the presentations, the follow-ups. This is the only thing that you actually kind of need to know is how many hours per week. Okay, can I be really honest with you guys? Okay. Is there anyone that maybe has someone in this room that wouldn't like me to be totally honest? And I'm being just honestly protective of anybody that doesn't want me to say what I'm about to say. Is everyone okay with me saying what I'm about to say? Okay. I'm transparent, totally, by the way. I'm also very much about managing mindset, which requires that you manage energy, and it requires the number one thing to manage your mindset. Number one to manage mindset is to manage your expectations. You'll live or die in this business based on your ability to manage expectations, right? Manage your energy, and ultimately your mindset. Those two things. If that number is not at least 10, don't plan on building a business. I mean, it's really tough. You might be able to, but I mean, let's get real. It's a business, not a hobby. How many times do people like hobbies? Probably 5 hours a week, a good hobby. So you've got to know what that number is, and you've got to know how many of these per day. It's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a day. You have to pick a number. That's got to be a minimum of 10. Those got to be a minimum of 1. At least. I like to use that word. At least 1. At least 2. At least 3. You want to be a Ruby in a year? You got to do at least 1 a day. You want to be a Ruby in 6 months? You got to do 2 a day. If you want to be a Ruby in, say, 3 months, probably have to do 4 a day. You want to be a Ruby in 1 month? 6 a day. That's it. That's the plan. And then ultimately, this is going to be so critical to mindset, right? We talked about the barriers at the beginning to mindset. If you can't control your mindset, who's the one person that can help you control it? Accountability partner is one of them, for sure. Do you have coaches? Do you have mentors? You have sponsors in this business, okay? You have to work with them. You've got to be really clear to them with what is your goal? What is your plan? And just be transparent and be open with them. You have to have the desire, like a burning desire. 2 things, desire and coachability, a willingness to learn. Not sure which one you need more of. Accountability, core calls, plugging in. What are you plugging into? You need to check in with that, and you need to make a commitment to be able to plug in too. How many events per month, right? I mean, that's another thing you can add in here. How many people with me at which events? That's a great goal to set around. The plugging in is necessary, okay? Core calls. Okay, do you have a daily core call? This is a simple thing that you could do for anybody in your business, including you. And then the final thing, who's your accountability partner? Who's that one person that doesn't care what your store... Bill, T. Who's that one person that doesn't care what your story is? I don't care if you went to the store. I don't care if your dog ate your homework. Did you do what you said you were going to do? Because we talked about integrity being one of the most important things. The self-esteem and the self-worth. The absolute gift that you can give to yourself, right? I mean, and imagine the gift that you could give to other people if you are able to help guide them through, right? So the final thing that I'll leave you with is that the mindset, and I think I shared with you, that it will be guided by these things. Okay, imagine that's an energy curve. You come off of Team Elite University, right, and you're up here. You go 4 or 5 days without inviting, presenting, or following up. You're down here. It's like you didn't get any oxygen. I mean, you're dying. You want to be able to manage this energy curve so that it's more like this, okay? And the best way that you can do that is to be consistent, right? So that the energy curve gets managed by consistency. Manage your energy. And your mindset, which the combination of those two things, and what I had shared with you was that it's all about managing your expectations. So as I wrap up today, I hope that all of this has been valuable. I believe that if you keep your mindset to the I can, the positive constructs of what we do, right? I can, I am. No can'ts, no tries, no do's, right? Or all do's. No can'ts, no tries, no buts. The mindset is really critical. And that the inviting, the presenting, and the following up is the simplicity of what will allow any one of you at any given point to make a simple decision to say, I'm going to go out and do it today. So hopefully that's been valuable for everyone, and thank you guys very much.